Hey everyone, hope your day's going well. We are back with another reaction, and we're going to check out a video on Rick Beato's second channel. Link to the original is in the description as always. This is a clip from his interview with Michael McDonald on how to recognize a hit. I've been reacting to some Doobie Brothers, but also Michael McDonald's duet with Patti LaBelle, and I was just watching Rick Beato, another video on his channel, just on my own time, and then worlds collided, and I saw this clip pop up, and I said, let me check this out. Here we go.
With all the hits you've had, would you say that you never know what's going to be a hit?
Yeah.
Interesting question.
I think it's a little of both, you know. And even with songs that weren't mine, but with songs that were mine, I remember thinking, yeah, What a Fool Believes should be the single. I agreed with Ted on that. I didn't know if it was going to be a hit or not, but, you know, I thought that was the best. That was one of the things from the record that might be a single, you know.
That's an interesting answer. It reminds me a little bit of what Björn Ulvaeus said of ABBA, you know, going with a single that they thought was going to be, you know, the best piece of music or best song as a single, and then Dancing Queen was the second single, and then, of course, hindsight is 2020, and they said, oh, now it makes sense that Dancing Queen should have been the first single. Yeah, you can know, I guess, the elements, what makes a hit and what works, but then you kind of need a little bit of luck and timing and the audience response, and or else everybody would constantly have hits, and of course you have a big label or not behind you. It's so many factors that go into it that, you know, are on the periphery of the song itself, right? Just the music and all the other things surrounding it, whether it's marketing or luck, timing, all of that.
There were times when I thought other things that should be the single, and I was dead wrong, you know. I should have listened to other people. When I was a producer, you know, when I produced my wife, I always inherently picked the wrong single, you know. And I would fight with the record company about it, like, oh, I wasn't gonna have it. I'm the producer here, you know. And, you know, and I'd go to head with the A&R guy, and usually he was right and I was wrong, you know.
Would band members fight about those things, like with the Doobies, or would you just, would they accept whatever Ted would say?
Yeah, ours was always a, you know, kind of a group consensus, and we were all pretty comfortable with whatever the majority thought, you know. I think we're still that way. I think we still very loosely approach our records in terms of none of us are looking to take. I probably suffered from that more than the other guys. Even Tommy, as much, and Pat, who were totally responsible for the band's success, as far as I'm concerned. You know, the band was huge when I joined them.
Yeah.
But I never saw those guys ever try to control the. You know, I remember I was so desperately afraid that I was going to ruin the band that it caused a different reaction. I mean, I was like the scrawny guy who walks in a bar and I want to pick a fight with everybody, you know, because I feel like the scrawny guy who walked in the bar. I remember thinking, you know, I got to make sure this works out right. This record, we play it right. And it turns out, you know, and I sometimes would get kind of overbearing with, I tortured the poor drummers, you know, and Jeff Baxter, you know, I tortured him, you know. And here's the guy that got me the gig, you know, and I'm, you know, giving him a fit over what he's playing, you know. It didn't bring out the best in me at times, you know. But those guys were...
Pressure must be immense.
Remarkably forgiving, you know. And poor Keith, I mean, when we did Minute by Minute, it came down to me and him in the studio alone, you know. I think Ted, to keep me from, you know, going into like psychotic an episode, he said, look, guys, take a break. Everybody go inside. Keith, you stay there. He goes, Mike, why don't you play it down with Keith? Get the track that feels good to you, you know. And because we were going for this kind of hypnotic, almost machine-like 6/8 feel, you know.
Yeah.
And I tortured the poor guy over it, you know. And he was playing it right the whole time, you know. Any one of those takes was probably fine. But I was so neurotic, you know, in that moment. And so he and I played it down. And I was going to, and I had a kind of a funky sound on the piano, but I thought, well, I'll get a better piano sound later. And I couldn't play it to his track later. I couldn't play it the way, it was just the way we played it together that made the feel of the song anywhere close to what I guess we were looking for, But,
That's
by
cool.
the end of that session, and then the guys all came back in and they all put their parts on that drum and piano track.
What do you think was difficult about getting the feel to that?
Well, I think when I was writing the song, I had this inkling that if this thing could feel almost hypnotic, and later on, that kind of music kind of came into vogue, with drum machines and loops and stuff, where the groove was so constant that it kind of hypnotized you. And there was something about that song I felt had that quality that it could feel that way. But
I love that.
Every time we played it, it felt more like a blues shuffle,
Right.
And I didn't want it to feel like a blues. I wanted it to feel like a boom, dunk, 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 and so and not speed up and not slow down, because with a shuffle you typically do kind of move to either side,
Yeah.
And what's what most people would call swing,
Did you play that with a click?
No, we didn't. Keith unfortunately bore the brunt of that, and we tried to omit all the swing out of it that we could,
I'd like to take a second to talk to you about this channel.
That's interesting.
This is actually
how they
Rick
went about
BEATO
that.
too. I've had it since the beginning of my main channel, and many of you are not subscribed. As a matter of fact,
Go on and
87% of the
subscribe.
people that watch this channel regularly are not subscribed. So I encourage you to hit the subscribe button on this channel and on my main channel. This will help me get even more of my dream guests and help continue to grow both channels.
It's
Thank
such
you.
a great channel.
It's incredibly steady.
Yeah, and
Really steady.
it's hard for me to listen to it just because of the excruciating pain I put.
So you even listen.
See, that's what happens, right? We have a song and we have the end result, and then sometimes if you created it, you kind of just think about the memories when making it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and sometimes you want to block them out because it's so, you're not proud of yourself or whatever, or your behavior or whatever was going on in your life, and then people come up to you. That must be crazy, especially if you're that famous and that big. Oh, I like that song. And you're like, oh yeah, but I kind of give this guy a hell of a time.
Listening to it, it takes you
I
back to
feel
that,
that.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does, but Keith did a remarkable job. It's and we all miss him. It's just hearing him play again.
Yeah.
It brings back a certain kind of melancholy, I think, for all of us. But yeah, he earned his money that day. And I think it was kind of like we kind of had that feeling that if we could just reach that kind of really rock steady 6/8 feel, that the song might take on a certain personality.
That's the actual take right there. That's
Yeah,
the keyboard and drum pass.
Yeah, and the piano was the intro was almost kind of an exercise to set up the feel so that we would fall into that feel, And of course we rehearsed it, a few times, so he knew what I was doing.
Very interesting. Recognizing a hit, you see that even people that are very good in it or very good at creating them, sometimes it's tough to see, with fresh eyes what you actually have created. Sometimes you need a different pair of ears or eyes to see, oh no, maybe this would work better as a single. And then a great behind the scenes story there of creating the song and how they went about to create that sound. Very interesting, and a lot of honesty in it too. Great speaking voice. He has a great singing voice too. Huh? Yeah. Thank you for watching this with me, and hope to see you in another one. Goodbye.